We're here at Maryland International Raceway for the Haltech Import vs Domestic World Cup Finals. And today on this special edition of Haltech Heroes, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of Haltech-powered race cars. Larry, you've been using Haltech in a lot of cars over a lot of years. This is a new car for you. Tell me about it.
This is my 2001 Nissan X15. Had this car for a while. It used to be an RB car,
So
believe it or not.
You've gone from RB to
Oh yeah, we
2J?
went from RB to the best thing in the world.
best thing in the
2JZ.
world, the 2J.
Yeah.
So this is sort of a whole new build.
Oh yeah, brand new build. My friends from JC Race Cars built me up a nice chassis car. Small tire. We're trying to go for the radial record, but we didn't have a lot of time to really set it up for that right now. So we just at World Cup trying to race it on the slick for this event.
So when I walked into the pit here, it smelled like paint fumes. When did this thing actually come out of paint?
Oh, this car from paint to today is exactly 1 month and 2 days.
1 month and 2 days. So
From paint to running.
we've gone from it being a bare shell with paint, now we've got engine, transmission, rear end.
Starting tuning for yesterday was our first pass ever on the car. Ran a 709 and 196.
So we're in a 709 first pass.
First pass ever.
And you're driving it?
I'm driving
And
it.
you decided just that's it, backdoor it,
My
7.0s.
my chassis guy said if it goes straight, keep your foot to the floor.
And clearly you did.
I went straight like a ruler.
So 7.0 first pass, what are you hoping to get this weekend?
Well, that
is
was
sixes on the cards?
Oh yeah, we definitely going for 670s at least this weekend.
That's what I'm talking
We
about.
were on baby boost, you know. So now that it's going straight, we can give it a little bit more.
So tell me a bit about the engine. What capacity? Still a 3 litre or is it 3.2?
Now, this is a Dragner National Spec 3.2 aluminum rod motor.
Okay.
We started running M1 methanol, so we have a fully concreted head. So
Okay.
we have no water in the motor head.
No
or
water.
block. Precision Pro Mod 98mm turbo. That's what.
90mm turbo. Now that's not a billet block, it's still a
No,
cast
this
block
is
in
a
this thing.
factory cast block.
And how do you think you're going to go with the 98mm turbo and a cast block? Is this going to hold together?
Oh yeah. Before everybody was running for 5-second records, everybody was running cast block and running, low sixes. So for what this guy is capable of, I think we'll be fine with that.
All right, that sounds good. What about transmission-wise? So you're running...
I have a 3-speed turbo 400 built by ATF.
Okay.
He's actually across the street from my shop, so he gives us a lot of help and a lot of,
Good to go. 3-speed, that's
3-speed.
It's a good deal. And what kind of RPM and boost are you leaving the line at?
Right now, with the first pass yesterday, we left at about 22 pounds, 5,500 RPM, and we really took it, a little bit simple, 48 pounds of boost on the first pass.
That's a fairly soft hit to start
Oh
with.
yeah, very, very, very soft, yeah.
What kind of boost do you want to run out the back of the
Before
track?
the end of the weekend, I want to be like 75, 80 pounds of boost. I'm not the kind of guy to go 2 pounds, 2 pounds. I want to go, big numbers.
I've got Vinny Palazzolo here. Now, Vinny, the banana,
The banana.
whatever it
The
is,
banana.
the very fast Mustang. So tell us a bit about the engine.
The engine is a 400-inch small block Ford, billet Lucido head, custom Bennett sheet metal intake. We run a single turbo, 88mm precision turbo.
It's only a relatively small turbo and also relatively low, small cubic inch.
Yes.
What kind of horsepower do you think you're making?
Good question. So it's tough to actually put this car on a dyno to make accurate horsepower. Generally, I feel like we're making 22 to 2,300 horsepower. I don't know for sure, so don't hold me to that. So the turbo could be advertised to 2,000 horsepower. So
Well, how much does the car weigh?
3,250.
At 3,250, and you're trapping at 208 mile an hour. So you've got to be pushing more than 2,000 horsepower.
And you know what? You would know better than I would.
I mean,
I'm holding on.
I can imagine there's not much driving happening. It's just holding on and clenching at
Yes.
that kind of a speed. What kind of tire are you running?
Mickey Thompson, 275 60/15.
Okay,
It's a radial.
it's a radial tire.
Yep.
So How do you feel, normally you run an 8 mile, how do you feel backdooring on a radial? Is that a bit frightening?
Very frightening, very frightening. I am, and this is the fastest I've ever been personally.
Yep.
So this last pass was holding on, and it got down there really fast. So, but the car handles very well. So it felt stable. I don't feel like I'm losing control at any moment. It's just everything's happening so fast. You got to make decisions fast. So you got to pull the parachute, shut the engine off, and make sure you stop.
Yeah, and the world's just flying by you at 250
Flying
miles
by,
an hour.
and you realize how fast the end of the track comes up.
Right.
Normally, when you're in the 8th mile, it's not nearly as bad. You got some time. You can take your time pulling the parachute. You get down there, you're okay. So, yes, there's a big difference running quarter mile.
So tell me what about the transmission? What kind of tranny are you running?
So I run a turbo 400.
Okay, 2-speed?
2-speed,
Yep.
turbo 400. I run a Pro Tour converter.
Yep. There's no lockup on a Pro Torque, is there?
No lockup on this.
Okay. Do you know what kind of slip you're getting top of the track?
2 to 3%.
Okay, very, very little slip.
Very little.
You may as well have a lockup at that point.
Mile, right, close. Running quarter mile, changing the rear gear,
Yep.
it slips a little bit more,
Okay.
but our normal is about 2 to 3%.
That's amazing. That's actually a testament to just to the converter technology, how much that's come along.
Very amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, the big question is, what ECU are you running?
Haltech, Elite 2500T.
So you're running a 2500T, so you've only got a single set of injectors, otherwise you'd have the RAM with the extra injectors.
Right.
Are you using torque management?
Yes.
How do you find that?
I love it.
Yeah.
It works great. We try to work really hard not to use it because the torque management works very well. Sometimes in some cases it could slow you down a little bit, but
Right.
you have to work harder on the car to get it to go faster. But that torque management works flawless.
Now we've got some front wheel drive, 4-cylinder Honda Love coming to you now. I got Adam Hall here now. Adam, tell me what we're running here.
We got a K24 engine.
Naturally aspirated, I see, no turbo on this.
No turbo, no nitrous. Runs on M1. Uses 4-piston cylinder head, 4-piston piston and rod combo. It's a 99 millimeter stroke engine.
So K-Series engine, what kind of RPM are you turning it to?
Turning it close to 11,000 RPM.
Swinging 11 grand.
Yep.
NA K-Series, how much power do we think we're making?
We're making roughly around 420.
420 horsepower,
Yep.
all motor.
All motor.
Front wheel drive.
Yep.
So what always excites me or confuses me about front wheel drive is you guys don't get the opportunity to weight transfer back to the wheels and actually take off. How do you get 400 horsepower to the ground in a front wheel drive?
Well, we got a weight bar up front that have about 80 pounds worth of weight in it right now. A lot of suspension tuning. I'll say we spend a ton of time quarter balancing the car, trying to get every corner of the car even. Obviously, biggest slick that we can run for the class that we, the class we run the car in.
Yep.
And it works pretty well. It leaves pretty good.
So what is it running? We're running. You actually had a lot of success this year. You won a few events. What have you won?
We won the last 2 Honda days.
Yep.
One at Maryland International Raceway. One in Epping, New Hampshire.
And what does it take to do that? What kind of times are you running?
The last one out, we were running pretty consistent 950s. Had a couple 60 passes in between. We had some really, really good reaction times at the lights.
Yep.
And
So we're running mid-9s, all motor, front wheel drive.
Yep.
That's so cool, so impressive. One thing that I know, you're swinging to 11,000 RPM. What does that mean when you leave the line? You must have nothing down low. This thing just must all come on late.
It all comes on. We launched the car pretty high. We're launching the car upwards of mid 7,000 RPMs. We want to keep RPM as high as possible the whole time.
Yeah, so you got to keep that RPM above that critical, probably, I'm imagining somewhere around 6,000 RPM is where
right around a little after 6,000 is when the power really starts to, climb up.
Okay.
So.
And I guess when I watch these front wheel drive Hondas and you listen to them go down the track, they kind of sound like arse that first 60 feet.
Yep.
Is that because you're banging the limiter just to keep the RPM high?
I bring it close to the limiter.
Okay.
The first 60 feet, I'm stretching the car a little bit further than when I would normally shift the car, just trying to get it to
Just trying to get the wheel speeds.
Yep, and keep RPM up.
Yep.
So that when I get into second gear, it stays in the power band.
All right, so we're really just spending that first 60 feet trying to get some sort of traction so you can get second and then take off. Which is why you guys, mile an hour, you're overtaking the domestics like they're standing still.
Huge compared to most of what these V8s typically do.
Yeah.
There are a couple of the guys that are up there in mile an hour, but typically the front wheel drive cars are putting more mile an hour at the eighth and more in the back half.
And tell me about transmission wise. I mean, obviously you can't run autos, you can't be running a glide or anything like that. What are you running transmission to put it all together?
It's an H pattern shift still, 1 through 4 PPG dog box.
Okay, so PPG dog box, but it's not sequential. We're running
still
H
shifting
pattern
H pattern shifter.
And you pedaling the clutch, or have you got a strain gauge?
I use a strain gauge.
Okay.
So after first gear, we're just shifting the car,
just
pulling and pushing.
it.
Yep.
That's really cool.
So and it works really well. Their gears are great. They hold up great. The ratios are where they need to be to keep RPMs up and high, and they're strong. I've had great success with these transmissions. This weekend, actually, we did break a second gear.
Okay.
But this will be the second gear since 2015 that has ever gone in this.
That's not bad. 1 gear in a couple of years
is not bad. We
impressive.
do our mid-season checks on it. We'll pull it apart, check dog teeth, check sliders, check everything, forks. But typically, it stays together for me. We don't rip the shifter out of the car. We just put it where it needs to be. And
beautiful. Now we're here with one of our OG Haltech Heroes. So we've got Bill Lutz. Bill, you're out here to hurt some feelings this weekend. Tell us about the car.
The car's been running well. We came here, been a long time since I ran quarter mile, back in my pro mod days. Wasn't sure if I remember how to do it, but it came right back to us.
Not quite sure what the back half of the track
you get to
like.
660 feet, you want to shut off, but it's like, man, it's feeling good. Like the first run, I told them that I was going to shut it off, and they told me I was lying, which I was.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, I didn't. So, it went 617, 240. Kenny just wanted to make sure we had a run under our belt. He wasn't here yet. That's the first time I've ever came to a racetrack and ran without him here with me.
It's like your first time at the track without your dad,
right?
The other way around.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, but so we was trying to do everything over the phone, which that didn't work out very well. But
it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, but he loaded that before I left.
Okay.
So, but today we came out here and went 6004 at 242. Felt really good. I mean, the car honestly was probably one of the best cars I've ever driven in my life. I mean, it never moved an inch left or right or anything. Just went straight down the track. We had a little hiccup where it didn't make the 1-2-3 shift. It just went 1-3.
So the old 1-3 shifteroo.
Yeah, but that happens sometimes. So we'll get our 5 here in round 3 of qualifying.
So what are you looking for? 590s, 580s?
I'd like to go 80s, and I'd like to go, high 250s. So we'll see. I mean, we got to get it down through there, and it's easy to talk about it. And right now we are the record holder on a 275 with the 6004. Mickey Thompson said that was the record by a bunch.
Yeah, so that's a 215 or 275 tire.
275.
275 tire.
Yeah.
So most guys don't run a 275 out the back door, right? That's an 8-mile tire.
Yeah, they run a 315, most of them. The 315 is not only taller, but it's also a lot wider.
Yep.
This here is basically similar to a 2810.5.
Okay.
So that's what we decided to run just because we wanted to do it.
Why not? No one's done it before, so why not?
Yeah, right, exactly. And I don't think we're doing too bad. I think we're like 3, 4, or 5 right in that range right now. If we put it in the 590s, 580s, I mean, we may be able to get in the top 2 or 3. But right now, the imports have got the advantage.
What's the advantage? Why do they have that advantage? They call you Big Boost, right?
Yes.
So are they just running bigger boost than you? What's going on here?
Well, no. I mean, they get to run a Pro Mod body and a Pro Mod chassis. But again, they only have 180 or 200 cubic inches. So it is a fair trade. But, I mean, they've been 557. And, I mean, some of the baddest Pro Mods in the world's only been 550s. So it's really all one-sided to the imports right now. But
they need all the help they can get. Let's be honest.
I know, but us domestic drivers, I feel that because we race more, we're more consistent.
Sure. Yeah.
We're gonna. They come here, in my opinion, to run that one hit.
Yeah.
Lay it all on the line, if the motor's in 3,000 pieces at that end, they're okay with it.
You're right.
As long as they set a world record pass.
Right.
We're here to kill them with consistency and just kill them on the tree. And between the two, a domestic wins it most of the time. But like I said, the rules are really favored in their way right now. But we'll give it our best shot on Sunday and see where we end up.
I think we're going to see some good racing. You guys are going to lay the 580s down. We might see a 570 out of an import, or we might see a bazillion pieces.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if we go 80 anything, if we go 90 anything, I'm happy. I mean, that's what we came here to do, is go in the 5s, on a 275. If we go 80s, I'll be ecstatic.
Beautiful.
If somehow we figured out how to go a 70, I would be beyond, I wouldn't even believe it,
So tell me about the engine now. I mean, you mentioned the imports, they're running 190 something cubic inches.
Yeah.
How many cubes are you running?
We're small in the domestic world. We're only 477 cubic inches.
Tiny. Yeah.
Big bore, short stroke.
What kind of RPM and what kind of boost?
This motor, we shipped it right at 10,000, and we'll let it go through up to about 11,200 range if need be. We try to keep it under 10,000, but if it has to go through over 10, it will. And then boost-wise, I think we had 52 pounds in it.
Okay, so it's relatively low boost.
Yeah.
But 10,000 plus RPMs, pretty high RPM.
Yeah.
You get away with that RPM because of the short stroke?
Short stroke,
Okay.
yeah. It's only 3,700 stroke,
Okay.
so it allows it to crank a lot of RPMs, and it's a Minor Brothers Hemi. It's not the typical Brad Anderson Hemi, so this is based off of a Chevrolet platform.
Okay.
The crankshaft, the camshaft, all that's Chevrolet based.
Okay.
And then it's just got a Hemi head on it. We switched to the Bullseye turbos at the very end of last year. They've been doing an awesome job for us. We've been wanting to really lean on them a little bit, and now we get our time to do it. So we'll get to see what happens here in the next round of qualifying and the rest of the weekend here. And we look like we just want to just continue easing up on it and keep it in one piece for Sunday.
I've got Eric Kenwood and his lime green? Bright green?
It's like a synergy green.
A what?
Synergy green.
Synergy green.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Bright
a Camaro green.
Full-on bright green Malibu wagon. And I got a memory of you at this event. Maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago, and I think it was the finals. You're up against one of the import teams who had maybe 70 or 80,000 people behind their car, and you come into this burnout box, you do your burnout, and you literally had no crew here. I think there was you and your mum here.
Yeah, it was me and my mom only that weekend. It was a pretty cool weekend.
Full-on privateer, and
Yeah.
I think Patrick Barnhill or someone jumped the barrier and brought you into the beams and then took off.
Yeah, it was really good just to have my mom, she actually has back issues and stuff like that, so to see the other racers and tuners just jump right in there to help me out, just because of friendship,
That was pretty
More than
awesome.
anything, it was definitely a good, memorable weekend.
So is this the fastest Malibu wagon in the world? What are we
Yeah,
looking at?
actually right now, there's a kind of a Malibu wagon society, and there's some guys all around the country, and they're all kind of gunning for the same thing. And Dan up in Minnesota, he went 37 or 38 earlier this year, but his season's over with, and we were able to come here and. Our second test pass, we ran it just past the 8th mile, and we coasted through it at 7:31. So that already gave us the fastest wagon record. So now,
back that up.
now we're gonna try to go. We're trying to go 6s this weekend. That's our goal.
So that's the goal. How do you think? Tell me about the engine. How do you go 6s in a Malibu wagon? It doesn't look like you've actually got anything really special in here.
There's nothing real fancy here. It's 365 cubic inch, 23 degree head.
It's relatively small.
Yeah, it's pretty small. We normally run a 410 cubic inch motor in it, but we've had some wear and tear on that combination this year, so we put Old Faithful back in there, and she's just really been running super good.
You got a single turbo at the front.
Yeah, single gear at 88 millimeter, just out of the box, nothing custom with it.
It's again, it's only a little turbo. It's a little motor. How much power do you think it's making?
I never got the dyno it, but I'm assuming crank horsepower somewhere around 1900, 1950.
Okay, so just below that 2,000 horsepower range. So what are we expecting to get mile an hour backdooring this thing?
195 to 200 is where I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah. So just below that 2,000 horsepower mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it weigh in at the track?
We actually weigh just under 3,000 pounds.
Okay, so that's overweight for this class, right?
We're allowed to be 2,675 pounds.
All right, so you carry
300 pounds.
carrying a few bags of concrete in the back there, because it's a wagon, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, good deal. And you're running a Haltech ECU. What ECU are you running in this, and what are you doing with it?
Yeah, we have the 2500T.
Okay.
We're basically using it to control everything, boost control. We're pretty much using it for everything, fuel consumption, obviously the data, torque management, when needed. So today we're gonna get after it with just a relatively soft tune. But tomorrow we'll probably turn the torque management on because we're gonna get after it.
And turn it up, and
yeah.
hopefully you don't hit it, but if you do, it's going to catch that run.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, what a lot of people don't know, you sell our product as well. Tell us a bit about your business and what you do.
So it's Eric's Automotive Service or Eric Kenwood Racing. Either way you want to go about it. Most of my internet presence is EKR, which is Eric Kenwood Racing.
And where are you guys based at?
We're based out of Vero Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And I used to be a general auto repair shop, and I used to rely on everybody else to do all my fabrication work. But as a racer, I need to be to races. I can't wait 2-3 months for people to do stuff. So over the course of the past 5 years, I turned completely into a race car fabrication shop.
Turn pro.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, there you go.
We're learning every day. So basically everything that's fabricated on this car now, like the mounting the engine, the headers, hot side, cold side, mounting the fuel cell, all the carbon work in the back, pretty much anything that's on it now I've done in-house. I have a couple guys that weld for me and stuff like that, but pretty much all the fabrication that's done in-house I do myself. My hands are on it.
And obviously you're installing and calibrating ECUs.
Yep, we do. With a lot of help getting started from Patrick Barnhill, and
you got some good guys on your team
and
there.
Eric and Victor from Haltech. They've actually got me set up there, and I can go into it and just rip them through myself.
Love it.
Wiring, everything, pretty much everything. A complete car. I don't paint, but everything else we can do.
There you go.
Engine, transfer ends, all that stuff.
Do you specialize just in Malibus, or can you bring anything in?
No, I do pretty much everything.
All right.
I'm really known in the G-body world, but we do. We just had a couple record-setting Mustang things that we built, and I pretty much do it all. So now.
Beautiful. Well, there you go. If you need something worked on race car-wise, you're down in Florida, Eric might just be your man. Manson with me and his 96 Mustang. Tell me a bit about the engine we've got running in this one, Andy.
So this is a all billet block cast head motor built by Anthony DeSoma. We are 470-ish cubic inches.
So that's a fairly big engine, 470 cubes. Interestingly, not running turbo, running supercharger.
Absolutely, blower all the way.
What do you love about the blower versus turbos?
Well, I've always been a blower guy. We tried turbo years ago, in the very beginning parts of my racing. But blower, I've always just enjoyed working with the blower guys. Absolutely, ProCharger all the way.
ProCharger seems like a nice combination. You put all the weight down the front of the vehicle, so you can weight transfer that well, and you don't have to worry about things hanging off the side of the engine a long way back.
Sure.
They also sound.
I love the way it sounds.
The sound is beautiful.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Absolutely.
Now here at this event, you've been out once already. You've done a one pass. How did you go on that?
Yesterday we made a full hit. We went, I think, 650.
Yep.
Noticed some problems with the blower tube. It was cracked.
Okay.
Boost was down about 6 pounds. So we've got that fixed. We're looking forward to the next hit.
So you ran the 650 leaking boost out of the blower pipe?
Absolutely, yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now tell me, you guys normally run 8th mile.
Yep.
What changes do you make to go from 1/8 mile to 1/4 mile?
Most importantly is tail gear. You know, we have to change the tail gear. Also, the stator to try to tighten that converter back up. And that's pretty much the two things we did.
How much difference does it make in the 1/8? How much slower do you go when you set up for a 1/4 mile rear into the 1/8?
Well, like I said, the fastest I'd been in the 1/8 mile racing is a 4:05. Yesterday during testing, we won a 4:13.
Okay, so there's not much in it on the 1/8.
No.
Just basically backdoor, almost exactly what you run the 8th, just the whole way down the quarter.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. So to run that 650, maybe getting down into the 20s today, what kind of horsepower are you putting out of this?
You know, I'd probably guesstimate 2,200, maybe 2,300 horsepower.
And that's going through what kind of transmission?
So we use Dave and Doug from Performance Transmission. That's a 2-speed turbo 400.
Okay.
And that's obviously backed by a Neil Chance torque converter.
Yep. Are you shifting yourself, or is the ECU doing
I
the
do shift. I shift one time.
Okay, you're doing the shift.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And I see you've got the pair of Haltech ECUs in there. What are you running ECU-wise, and what are you doing with the ECU that's maybe a bit special in this?
Well, I tell you, I don't do much of the tuning at all. I use PTP, which is Jason Lee and Patrick Barnhill. I know we converted over about a year ago with Haltech. From what I know and have learned working with these guys is how fast it works. Yep. You know, being able to add or pull timing when necessary.
Yep.
We run the entire car with Haltech.
All right.
I used to use a lot of race pack. Now we pretty much just use the ECU through Haltech.
That's awesome. Has your experience with the ECU been an easy one?
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously with Jason working with Haltech, you know, in other cars, it was a very easy transition. The support from Haltech, as I said, we've had a little bit of work upgrading this event with some nozzles to try to help cool some fuel, so they were real helpful this weekend as well.